Good evening. I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Tomorrow, the last two undefeated volleyball teams square off. Number 2 Nebraska against number 1 Wisconsin. This is shaping up to be the game of the year, and you don't want to miss it. Pre-game coverage starts at 6 p.m. right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Also tomorrow, Nebraska football squares off against Northwestern tomorrow at 2:30. Pre-game starts at 10:30 right here on the Huskers Radio Network. Keeping with college football, the number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines have been under investigation recently for alleged opponent scouting violations. The NCAA rule in question states that off-campus, in-person scouting of future opponents in the same season is prohibited. That case is expected to be heard after the 2023 season. The MLB postseason continues, the ALCS on now, NLCS on later tonight. The Rangers just took a 4-2 lead over the Astros in the bottom of the 6th in Game 5. Game 4 between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks will be underway at 7:07 p.m. tonight. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for 2 hours of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Lombardi play actions, being rushed, gets hit, goes down. Another sack for the Cornhuskers, and Jay Sherman, the first on the scene. It's a loss of 9.
Pass by Harper, quick and check. Big Alec, kaboom! GHTV, get to the ball.
Harburg under center. Grant the deep back. They turn, give it off to Anthony right side. Touchdown, Nebraska. Huskers back in front, 13-7.
Left side roll shot, diving deep Merritt Beeson. Here come the Huskers. Fed left. Harper, yes. Off the block and he can't even contain her. Forget about stopping her. It's 12-6.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
I am so ready to watch some Husker football. I don't know about you all, but it has been, well, it was 2 weeks ago tonight. We played the Illinois game, so it'll be 15 days since the Big Red took the field. That's going to change tomorrow. Henry just told you about the kickoff, 2:30 tomorrow, 10:30 for pregame coverage. Welcome to the Friday show. I am solo tonight, although Jessica will pop in here to join us for the pick segment next hour. She's out celebrating her birthday, so we want to wish Jessica a happy birthday. Tim in Minnesota has already sent a text in to wish Jessica. Tim's the one that kind of keeps a list of the birthdays for all of the crew, so we appreciate that, Tim, keeping up on our birthdays. So we hope Jessica's out having a good time. We'll talk to her in the second hour of the program. But, man, just seems like it's been forever. And that happens when you feel good about where you are. And we're coming off that victory over Illinois on the Friday night. And so you're ready for that next game. And, you know, I'm not sure Coach has been asked that question during the week, but sometimes you don't want the bye week coming off of a nice road win like that. You want to keep kind of rolling, but that's the schedule was the schedule. And so Huskers had last Saturday off. And you think about this year how odd it's been to this point. We played 6 football games. Only 4 of them have been on Saturdays. We've had the Thursday game in Minneapolis to start, the Friday game against Illinois. We have a Friday game at the end of the year, so we have 3 non-Saturday games on the calendar this year for Husker football. And I will say, we all need to get used to having non-Saturday football games. With this TV deal, we're going to see more and more Friday games coming up. And I'm a little surprised that there isn't like a Friday Big Ten game tonight. There is a game on ESPN, Temple and SMU, but no conference game. In fact, we might be done with the Friday games until Black Friday when the Huskers will play Iowa on that. But even the conference commissioner at the basketball media days last week mentioned get used to Friday football because our TV partners, particularly for the streaming services of Peacock, they're going to want some Friday games. But I'm ready. I'm ready to watch these Huskers play tomorrow. Nebraska nearly a 2-touchdown favorite over the Wildcats. That seems odd. And you just look at this series, 7 of the 12 meetings between Nebraska and Northwestern since the Huskers joined the league. So 7 of the 12, more than 50%, have been decided by 3 or fewer points. And then you have one other game that was an overtime game decided by 7. So history has been, these have been tight games. The game here 2 years ago was not. Nebraska routed the Cats 56-7. I'd love for that to happen again tomorrow. Not sure that can happen, but love to see that happening tomorrow. Nebraska, obviously, there's statistical. You dive into the stats on this thing, and there's some things you really like about this matchup. Nebraska's second in the Big Ten in rushing offense. Northwestern's last in rush defense. So you got to like the thought that Nebraska could run the ball. Maybe it will in this game tomorrow. And then you look at Northwestern running the football. They're last. So they're last running the ball, last in defending the run. The Huskers are second in both those categories in the Big Ten. So there's some inequalities in this thing that bend toward Nebraska's favor. Let's hope that continues. That and Northwestern's given up a ton of sacks this year. They have had a hard time protecting the quarterback, so it could be a big day for the Black Shirts tomorrow. Let's hope that's the case in this battle of 3-3 teams. How nice would it be to walk at 24 hours from now, be walking out of the stadium and being over 500 at 4-3? That would be fantastic if that will happen. Well, Henry mentioned this in the ticker. There's more news today as it relates to Michigan and the NCAA investigation into an alleged sign-stealing operation by the Wolverines. Of course, yesterday it came out that the NCAA had notified the Big Ten and they notified Michigan that they have heard complaints and seen evidence of a sign-stealing, an elaborate sign-stealing system in place for a couple of years. A source told ESPN that Michigan has been using this scouting system to steal signals from future opponents since 2021, 3 years ago. And the NCAA currently has an investigation going on Michigan about some potential recruiting violations. Now, that's separate than this deal that came up yesterday. Michigan today suspended a member of their football staff, Connor Stallions, who's a former military guy, has been identified as a person of interest in the investigation. And this involves scouting future opponents in person. That's been outlawed since 1994. Used to be able to go. You could send a graduate assistant or former player or whatever, and they could go to a game of the team you're going to play the next week, and they could sit there in the stands and take notes and whatever and have a notepad and go, okay, here's what they did there. Well, they outlawed that in 94. But according to these allegations, Michigan's been doing that. And with this guy named Connor Stallions. So he has been, by Michigan, suspended with pay. That's to happen today. This is a day after the NCAA notified and identified a person of interest. And if you go on social media or if you've been watching ESPN or Fox during the day, you probably have seen pictures of this guy on the sideline. Graduate of the Naval Academy, a retired captain in the Marine Corps. So this guy's kind of probably grown up in that espionage world a little bit about trying to figure out how to do some things. Doesn't make a lot of money. $55K is what he's been making at Michigan. So apparently, several different Big 10, Freudian slip there, but several Big Ten people have made inquiries about this guy in the last couple of years to the league office. They then pass that on up the chain to the NCAA, and now there's been enough of this to come out to level this investigation into Michigan football. So we'll see where this goes. Pretty amazing stuff. Apparently, they're trying to obtain Stallion's university-issued laptop to grab that to see if that leads them any information. So this will be interesting to see. And again, it goes on the backs of the previous investigation, which we're supposed to be notified about any penalties handed down from them in early 2024. Remember, Harbaugh sat out the first 3 games this year trying to head off the investigation that we knew about to maybe say, okay, you self-imposed that, you're good, you can carry on with life. But crazy. This is crazy stuff. Michigan plays Michigan State tomorrow in East Lansing. That's the primetime game on NBC tomorrow night. I'm not sure that'll be much of a game, but certainly this is a big distraction around the Michigan program and really bad publicity for them and really for the league. You just think about this league, the negative stories out of this league with the Fitzgerald condoning bullying at Northwestern, which I think that's been overblown. That's my personal opinion. I don't know that was as bad a deal as it should have been. I'm not sure that Pat Fitzgerald should have even lost his job in that whole thing. I think they probably jumped the gun. That's my gut. And talking to some people around college football, that's kind of the feeling that Northwestern probably jumped the gun. Then you've got the Mel Tucker mess at Michigan State. He's been let go. And I think there's a lot more to that story maybe than what's been reported to this point in time. But these are big scandalous things coming out of the Big Ten Conference. And here you go again with Michigan and this thing on spying, cheating, stealing signs from future opponents. Stealing signs during games is not illegal. It happens. In fact, what's the old line from the Talladega Nights? If you're not cheating, you're not trying, or something like that from Ricky Bobby. I mean, so you've got people that are trying to decipher those big boards that people hold up at midfield to signal the play in for the quarterback. So that's permitted. You're allowed to try to pick off and figure out what somebody's system is. You're not allowed to go to a previous game while they're playing and try to do that while you're sitting in row 39 on the aisle with your binocs fixated on a sideline. And that's apparently what at least the allegations are, that Michigan has been doing some of that. So interesting sideline for the Wolverines. Will it be a distraction for them? I doubt it, but coaches hate distractions, and there certainly seems to be this one being added on to Michigan football right now. And I love the way their team's playing. I think they're terrific. I think it's a really good football team that could win the national championship in a couple months. I think they're that complete of a team. So then you kind of begs the question, why are you trying to skirt the rules and do this on the side? So that's a good question. All right, here's what we have on the program tonight. We have not played you a snippet of this week's Sideline with Searles, the weekly podcast. So Jessica sits down with Jeremiah. That's coming up here in a couple of minutes. Just a few hours ago, the latest edition of Kicking Back with the Cooks. Lauren Cook's sit-down monthly interview with her dad. They get into some fun, cute topics. We'll play as part of that coming up here in a little bit. That is now out. The full podcast is out if you want to go try to get that ahead of this big matchup tomorrow night with Nebraska and Wisconsin in the battle for 1 versus 2. Oh, sorry, that's hour 1. Hour 2, we'll do our pick segment. Jeremiah is going to jump on board with us. I will give you a spoiler alert. We do have a new weekly winner this week. Somebody different won. Last week, Jessica was the best of the bunch. She did not retain that title. This week, we'll tell you how that went. Hey, we're going to talk some baseball. Head baseball coach Will Bolt will be here. Fall ball ended last week. We'll get the coach's take about his baseball team for the 2024 season coming up in hour number 2. A lot of new faces, a lot of arms. So we'll break into some baseball chatter with the coach as we're watching the Rangers Astros. Henry told you it's 4-2 as they go to the bottom of the 7th inning down in Globe Life. That series knotted at 2 games apiece, coming up at the top of the hour, Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, with the Phillies leading the Diamondbacks 2-1. So we'll hear from Will Bolt coming up in hour number 2. Want to hear from you as well. Call or text 402-413-2400. Jim in Columbus wants to wish Jessica a happy birthday. I'm going to save all these texts so she can see all these from you guys coming in the future. But love having you part of the program here as well. Our Woodhouse Auto family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with a little bit of the Sideline Slice with Searles. That's coming up next.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
There's room at the table. Add more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Big 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Big 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Big 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe back with you here on a Friday night. Jessica has the night off. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday, Jess. But early in the week, she did sit down with Jeremiah Searles for the latest edition of the podcast, Sideline Slice with Searles.
So one of the big things that Coach Rule talked about in his press conference is that sounds like Heinrich Haarberg is the guy, and we've talked a lot about that. Greg and I have talked a lot about that on the show. I mean, Heinrich just made it really difficult, pretty much impossible to take the ball away from him. But when you've had this conversation, and I'm sure it is more on the outside than it is on the inside, but when this has been a lingering topic, but to now to know, okay, this is the guy, we're moving forward with Heinrich this week. What does that do for a football team?
Yeah, it does a couple things. The main thing it does for me is it shows that Coach Rule is not about playing favorites, and he wants to truly put the best player out there that he thinks gives that team that week the best opportunity to win the football game. So many times you hear about coaches and being in those locker rooms where it's like, oh, that's Coach's guy. Right, like that's his dude, right? Like he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. He's the guy. He's the golden boy, whatever you want to say. And Coach Rule brought Jeff Sims in. That was his guy that he brought in. But I think he is one to go, hey, you know what? Heinrich's winning us football games. I can't take the ball out of that guy's hand. And what I've seen from him do in practice shows us that I think he truly gives us the best chance to win football games right now. And that's a message that gets sent across every position, every age group, from senior down to freshman, that he does not care what the outside world says, what the politics are. He's truly about football, and he's about the players that are going to give him chances to win. And that fires me up for the staff and the culture that he's building here at Nebraska, and also fires me up for Haarberg because he earned it. You and I were even ones a couple of weeks ago that were saying, this is still Sims' team. We're not sure, but he went on the road against an Illinois team that has beaten us under Brett Bielema and led this team to a victory when it wasn't pretty, but he found a way to fight. He made plays with his legs. He's gotten better in the passing game as things go. But I'm excited to see him in back-to-back Big Ten opponents. I don't think that anyone's going to stamp this and say it's Haarberg's the rest of the way no matter what. But I think he's earned the right to say, as of right now, I'm the guy, and it's my job to lose.
I mean, he's won 3 of the last 4. Huskers are have won 3 of their last 4 games with him starting. So I think he's pretty much made the case, and unless something happens where you need to go back to Sims, I think that's the right call. And you and I started to kind of change our tune last week. It's just when you do what hadn't been done, which is go win at Illinois, and Illinois had Nebraska's number, but you went on the road, Big Ten. It's just, he kind of won the job to me.
Yeah, and it's the old adage: if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right, like it's working, obviously, and everyone will say, "Well, Michigan, you got to throw Michigan away." That's not even. You can't even look at that as a game that goes into the equation. You got to look at the 2 previous games to Michigan, and then what he did in Illinois, and that's his resume, in my opinion. And his resume in those 3 games versus Jeff Sims' first couple games is better. It's better, and we don't see practice, we don't see behind the scenes, but what we do see is it went over, and he's taking care of the football. He's had some interceptions, but for the most part, he's managing the game well. He's playing within the system. He's taking care of the football. My hope is that with the bye week here, Satterfield now that he's had 2 weeks to really kind of dive into him as the true starter, starts to open up the playbook a little bit more for him and start to be a little bit more creative in some of the passing game.
Yeah, how much do you see, too, with now no Marcus Washington, and Coach Rule said yesterday that they've got to find ways to get Billy Kemp the football more. A couple of days ago, Coach Rule said that, and then Satterfield echoed that they got to get him the ball more. But, you know, with a thin wide receiver room now and some of those young freshman wide receivers and that bye week, how much can those young guys really come along now that you're halfway through the season and then you did get that bye week to really get some extra work and reps?
Yeah, those young receivers I would expect to take a big jump. You know, Malachi Coleman and Dawes there, that really, in the first Illinois was the first time we got to see them in live game reps, and you could tell they were just kind of out there, very simple routes, not a lot of option routes, not a lot of conversion routes, right? If we get this coverage, convert to that, or feel his leverage and then option out to whatever way. I think we'll see some more of that from those guys after having 2 full weeks with the ones, 2 full weeks with Harburg, right? Understanding where they want to be, the game plan. I think we're going to see a big jump out of those young receivers, but Coach Rule knows it. We all know it. Billy Kemp's got to be the guy in that room now. With Marcus Washington being gone for the year, someone's got to fill that role of the on-field leader. Marcus Washington's still going to be a leader on this team. He's going to be there cheering on his teammates, doing everything he can. But you need someone that can be on the field as that field general of that room to calm everyone down or bring everyone up and just know the pace of that room. And I know that's a lot to ask of a guy that just got here a year ago. You know, he hasn't been here for a long time, but those freshmen also just got here. You know, there's no one in that room really that's a clear alpha. And so Billy Kemp's got to step into those roles and make the contested catches and get open and be a friendly receiver for Harburg as he continues to develop as a young quarterback.
You know, it was last week coming off the win that Coach Rule challenged again Anthony Grant about taking care of the football. If you don't take care of the football, you're not going to play. But again, that's another pretty thin room at this point. How do you expect that to shake out? What do you expect to see from those guys and that group specifically come Saturday?
I think we still see a lot of Anthony Grant. You know, I still think he is the guy. He's the bell cow. He's played the most football out of anyone in that room. Emmett Johnson did bring a nice spark for us in that Illinois game. He showed a lot of good shiftiness, some good speed and burst. So I think we'll see a heavy dose of those two guys. And I do think we'll probably see a little more Josh Fleeks in the backfield against Michigan, too, because I'd like to have 3 guys that you feel really comfortable rotating in. But as far as like percentage carries go, you know, I still think Grant's probably an 80% carry guy. And then you mix in Fleeks and Emmett Johnson for that other 20%.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Northwestern. What have you seen on film from them? We heard that quarterback still could be out, might be seeing a backup quarterback on Saturday. But what have been your big takeaways on Northwestern? I mean, they fought, and at the beginning of the season, we didn't know how many games they'd win, but they continue to fight and battle.
Yeah, that's one thing in the last few weeks that team has rallied around themselves with all the craziness that's going on. I mean, you've got Fitzgerald suing the university for $130 million, and the defensive coordinator gets promoted, and you just weren't sure what that team was going to look like from an effort perspective and from just an overall talent perspective. And they have shown that they can be a Jekyll and Hyde team. They've shown that they can come out and go toe-to-toe with Penn State for 2 quarters, and they've also shown that they've come out and they can probably lose to Howard. Right, so it's which Northwestern team are we getting? And they're also coming off the bye week, so they're going to be refreshed. They're going to be ready to go and kind of gotten themselves back together. But this is a team that if you let them hang around, they're going to feel like they still have hope in life. And on paper, Nebraska is the better football team, right? Talent-wise, at just about every position, I think Nebraska is the better football team. But that doesn't always win you games. And Northwestern's a team that is used to not being the best team on paper. They are, but they still have found ways to rally around themselves and win. So I look at this Northwestern team and I think, okay, what have the teams done to have success against them? They've ran the football. They controlled the clock. And then what they do on offense is they get after this quarterback. And again, if they have a backup quarterback, he came in against that Howard game. Anytime he had pressure in his face, it was pretty much throwing up a 50-50 ball every time it left his hands. So with what Tony White can do and how he can pressure the quarterback in such unique ways, in such exotic looks, and create chaos, if that's that young quarterback back there trying to hold on to it, I think this is a game the Black Shirts can really start picking away at the turnovers, getting us 2+ turnovers, and giving our offense a chance to really get in some rhythm. But if we give them chances and we turn the ball over, they can take advantage of it because they have a couple good offensive linemen in the run game. But overall, this is a team we should go out and handle pretty easily, in my opinion. And I know that we're not the juggernaut that everyone wants us to be or what I hope we can be, but I look at what Northwestern is, and I just think that Nebraska overall is a much better football team.
So how much do you think maybe, I mean, with the backup quarterback that you see Tony White do some things to make his day really challenging?
Oh, Tony White, if it's the backup, the pressure dial will be maxed out. You know, it's going to be dudes coming off the sideline and dropping 8 at one point to keep him off his toes. And I think if Tony White's just salivating going, please march that poor kid out there and let me just chess match and live rent-free inside his head for 60 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. Offensively, what kind of steps do you feel like this offense needs to make? And I mean, Coach Rule's talked a lot about, hey, it might not always be pretty, but we're going to play complementary football. And you know, he made his funny joke. We ran the soundbite on Sports Nightly the other day about how, you know, Ed Foley would try to block a punt every game, and Tony White would send every blitz, and you know, Satterfield and Garrett McGuire want to throw all these passes, but it's about managing and being the CEO and making sure that it's complementary football. And I know that was the one thing that you took away from the Illinois game is they've got to punch it in when they've got those opportunities. But where can this offense take a step this week against this Northwestern team?
Yeah, I think they take a step in the running game. You know, it was good for a good part of that Illinois game, but it kind of fell apart in the back half. We still need to put together a complete game on offense, and that starts with taking care of the football and controlling the line of scrimmage. And those are the steps that if we want to give ourselves a chance to go to a bowl game and give ourselves a chance to win some games down the stretch here, those two things have to get much better because we're facing better opponents. We're going into league play. We have to be able to score points without giving the other team a short field of turnovers. So I think with Northwestern, you know, I'd love to see us come out and have a turnover-free game. Complete turnover-free game. I don't want any turnovers. Let's just try and have a game with 0 turnovers. And then also let these big guys start getting in the groove, and Ben Scott, Piper, Nuri, and our tackles, Ben Hart and Corcoran, start to get into a groove where they have confidence in what our run scheme is and confidence in what we can do and start really honing in on the identity of what our run game is.
There's a snippet of this week's podcast, Sideline Slice with Searles, brought to you by Valentino's. You can go go listen to and watch the entire podcast where you get your podcasts or on our podcast platforms. Folks, buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, a little bit of the Kicking Back with the Cooks, which just came out a few hours ago. We'll have that conversation next.
I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program. I'm recruiting for the team, and I want it to be the finest team in America. I'm looking for someone like you to be a teammate's mentor, someone who is willing to reach out to a child and make a difference. Meeting with a student once a week at school can make an impact in their life and in the community. We want you to join our team. Go to teammates.org to apply today.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse has been delivering you confidence in car buying since 1975. And now we're giving you the convenience of doing it 100% online with Buy Now. Anytime, from anywhere, you can compare hundreds of hand-picked, safety-inspected, pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that are available to purchase completely online. Shop smarter with personalized, estimated payments on all the inventory. Apply for financing and schedule your driveway delivery all online. Woodhouse, delivering a better way to car buy online with Buy Now.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pick 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pick 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For 47 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been family owned and operated. We'll treat you like family and focus on providing you the best buying experience possible. Visit us in Fremont to shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer. And if you need a commercial vehicle, we're your GMC Business Elite dealer. Shop at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
What's colder than the coldest? A polar bear. Live reports of a polar bear on the loose. Man, is it cold enough for a polar bear in here?
Yes, we use SOS. Come on in.
SOS to the rescue! Nebraska defensive lineman Nash Hutmaker here. People know me as the polar bear, and when I want to stay cool, I call SOS. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition, guaranteed. Mention the polar bear and get a free 10-year labor warranty on new York equipment. The best warranty in town.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
There's room at the table and more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Oh, boy, got a little dust up in the ALCS. Texas, Garcia, who hit a 3-run home run and kind of posed after he hit it early in the game, just got hit by a pitch. Both benches have emptied. Oh, boy, Love this kind of stuff. Texas leads 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th. They have 2 on and nobody out. Well, not a dust-up anytime that Lauren Cook West sits down with her dad, John Cook, for the Kicking Back with the Cooks. It's a monthly podcast, and I'm telling you, this month they got into some serious topics.
So I helped host the radio show with Jessica Coody about a week or 2 ago, and we had a lot of questions come in, as you know, from the text line. We had calls that came in, and then I posted a question or a opportunity on Twitter, or now I guess we call it X, asking fans for more questions for the radio show. And I said, if we don't get to them on the radio show, then we'll definitely get to them in the next episode of Kicking Back with the Cooks. So you're back in the hot seat. Are you ready to finish answering all of those questions?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Playing with fake nails. This is a big one. How do they do it? Fans want to know. And then I want to ask, you mentioned Bergen broke a nail in the Michigan match. Did you ever end up you told us in the post game after the Michigan match that you were going to have a talk with the team. Did you ever end up having a talk with the team about maybe deciding against fake nails?
Yeah, we talked about it, and they say, oh, they never break. And Bergen was actually defending hers, that it wasn't actually the fake nail that broke, it was her real nail. So I'm like, she got a cotton Merritt's, hair clip. So, I mean, these guys love it. I think it's therapy for them. So we may put in next year just to hire a full-time nail person, be with our team. So we have a trainer, nutritionist, strength coach, and a nail person for
nail
therapy.
Tech.
So
work in an NIL deal.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them have NIL deals. So
I'm sure you're right. With a spa.
Because it's like, it reminds me, it's like washing your car, and waxing your car. Looks really good. That's what it's like every week. They come in with these new nails, and they're just all buffed out, like shined up and ready to go.
Hey, what's the saying? Look good, feel good, good, play good, play good, pay good.
That's right. So
there you go. Hey, you're 15-0, so you might as well just let them stick with the fake nails.
That's right.
How do the girls, this also has to do with fashion and girl stuff, but how do the girls decide if they wear spandex or leggings? We've seen a few matches where Merritt, Harper, some players have worn leggings instead of the shorter spandex. Is that their decision? Is that, and I guess what goes behind that decision process?
Yeah, well, when we're on the road and play on a wood floor, we give them the option to wear the leggings. Because in our gym, training on TerraFlex, we have 2 TerraFlex floors that we train on, and we try to stay off the wood floor. We actually have another piece of TerraFlex that we put along the net just for cushion on jumps. So if somebody's training over there, like the middles will go train over there on a station, so they'll have TerraFlex to jump, land on and jump on, and but when we're on wood, your skin sticks to the wood when you go to the floor, and I almost feel like it would be almost come under hazing when we go to a wood floor, and the first few times they start going to the floor, it's like they stick and they're, ouch, that hurts. So we give them the option to wear leggings. It just helps them slide on the floor better on wood floors. So that's the decision on that. And and all you have to do is go look at their legs. They got bruises, bumps, scrapes. It's like they crashed on their bike almost. So they get pretty nicked up. But the TerraFlex is huge, and I can't believe that even anybody in the Big Ten anymore doesn't play or train on TerraFlex.
And then what is the deal with the high compression socks? I believe you guys have worn those for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, we used to wear them back in the old days. And then the fashion statements, probably when you played, you guys didn't want to wear them anymore. So, but there's research now, and all you have to do is get old or travel, and you start learning how important compression socks are. And compression socks help push fluid as your body works and you develop, inflammation in your body. Your body creates fluid, and the compression socks help pump the fluid out of your ankles and your feet back up and just keeps it recirculating. And again, whenever I go overseas flights, I always wear compression socks, and you don't get any swelling. They work awesome. And so it's just a way of, we believe, and it's also, it helps in that recovery part and keeping things moving. And then the other part of it is it helps protect their legs from going to the floor. So it's just, some more protection. So if they're wearing the leggings, I think they just go down to their knees, and then the socks will come all the way up. So they're really protected from scraping along the floor.
When can we get the student section all together? And I want to add something before you answer this. I watched a clip, I think the Big Ten Volleyball put it out, and they were asking players their favorite away gym to play at, away arena, away gym. And a few players said Nebraska, but a couple other players said places like Penn State, Purdue, and their reasoning was because of the student section. They said it's a hostile environment. The student section's right on top of you. Illinois is another one. They're in your face, and it just puts a lot of pressure on you as a player. And so I think this is huge. Nebraska is definitely a difficult place to play at because we're always sold out. We have so many fans, but our student section is split up, and this has been a big topic of controversy, I guess is what you could call it. And a lot of people want to see the student section come together.
Well, we've been working on it for years. We've been told there's some conflicts because some people would have to move their seats that they've had for a long time. And I would like to have the band and all the students in one section down there. So, but I've not been able to get it done, and we get told by the ticket office and development, and they just don't want to ruffle the feathers. But now that we've opened the door with the football stadium, I mean, that might be a great question for people to call in and ask Trev on his show. How could we get that done? And, and we'll ask again in the spring, like, how can we get that done? Because the students have reached out to me. They all want to be together, and we'd like to get them together. And so maybe the door's been opened a little bit now that we could look at that and find a way to make it happen and make it a win-win for everybody. And again, that's, there's a lot of people that would be involved in making that happen. And so great question, and let's keep asking it.
Good stuff there, always is. And the Kicking Back with the Cooks, brought to you by Woodhouse, comes out once a month. It dropped earlier today. Again, go where you find your podcasts or on our podcast platforms. They haven't thrown a pitch in that baseball game since we went to the Kicking Back with the Cooks segment. They have thrown a couple people out of the game. 4-2, Texas has the lead. Bottom of the 8th, they have 2 aboard and nobody out, trying to get that series, trying to grab the lead in that series, 3 games. 2-2. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, back to finish off hour 1. Sports Nightly here on a Friday night. We'll do that next.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall. The tractor that is the one for all.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland.
October is National Chiropractic Health Month. Regular chiropractic care has been a game changer for me, both during my career and still today. It's the recommended first treatment for chronic lower back pain over prescription opioids. It's natural, drug-free, and safe for all ages. Discover the difference of chiropractic care. Relieve, restore, resume your life. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Experience power like never before and move through the world in a legendary SUV from Woodhouse Cadillac, setting the bar when it comes to high-tech standards and safety features, plus innovations that enhance your driving experience. Receive $1,500 Cadillac financial cash and 2.9% APR for 36 months on the 2024 Cadillac XT5. Find your next luxury vehicle in-store or online anytime at woodhousecadillac.com. With approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 10/31/2023. See dealer for details.
Back inside the Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer. Acres solutions for every field. Final few minutes here of hour one. So fun to hear the cooks talk. And just Lauren can ask, and man, that segment was a really fun segment. They're talking about getting their nails done and what the hair and all that, just fun stuff. So hope you enjoy that. I know our fans do. They can't get enough of that. And everybody's certainly excited for that match tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Devaney, 6 o'clock for pregame coverage here on some of these Husker Sports Network stations. We'll be knee-deep into postgame by then for Husker football. Crypto King in the chat wants to know if Sims is done for the year. I don't think so. Crypto, he's played in 3 games. You can play 4 and save a redshirt year, but I don't think the coaches are thinking that now. I think, if Heinrich were to get hurt, obviously Sims would be in the game. If Heinrich was ineffective and you needed a jolt, I think Sims would play. I just think right now they feel like they're kind of on a roll with Heinrich, and they've won 3 out of 4 with him as a starter. That's going to be where they're going. But I don't think there's any thought right now that he's not going to play anymore this year and maybe save a season of eligibility for himself. I just don't think that would be the case. Remember, there's one game, I can't remember if it was La Tech or I think it was Louisiana Tech, that Heinrich's helmet came off, so he had to come out of the game, and Jeff went in. And so that counts as a game. Even if it's just one snap, that counts as a game. So if that hadn't happened and he was only at 2, then I think maybe that thought would come into their mind that maybe you try to save a year of eligibility for him. But because that was game 3, and there's still 6 games to go, physical football games to go, I don't think they're thinking that way. I really don't. So will he play tomorrow? I don't know. I mean, I can't foresee the game. I can't foresee if Heinrich gets hurt, is ineffective, whatever it may be. And if either one of those is the case, I think Jeff does play tomorrow. But I'm not sure that's a sure deal. But appreciate everybody being in the chat room tonight. I know it's a Friday night. You have a lot of options, a lot of things you could be doing. We're glad you're with us. We have another hour to go. We have picks to talk about. Picks from last week, picks from this week. We're going to hear some baseball from head coach Will Bolt. We'll keep you updated on the playoffs as well. 4-2, bottom of the 8-2, outs 2 on for the Rangers, trying to take a 3-2 lead back to Houston for Game 6. All right, 1 hour in the books, 1 to go. I'm kind of ready for the pick segment. I think I did okay last week. We'll find out. Don't go away. Come on back. Hour 2, Sports Nightly on the other side.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. October is National Chiropractic Health Month. Regular chiropractic care has been a game changer for me, both during my career and still today. It's the recommended first treatment for chronic lower back pain over prescription opioids. It's natural, drug-free, and safe for all ages. Discover the difference of chiropractic care. Relieve, restore, resume your life. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here's the snap back to Reggie Love. He gets hit at the goal line, and a ball might have popped out. I don't think he made it in there. Nebraska's black shirts have put together a goal line stand and will take over at the 1 yard line.
Husker volleyball sent to the left. Krause again. Unreal. Another thump from Lindsey Krause.
Here's a snap back. Zone read. Take the handoff. Harburg's got it. 20, 15, 10, 5, dives, touchdown, Nebraska.
Controlled by the Huskers. Again, Lindsey left pin for the match. She got it. 25-14, Huskers set 3. Sweep number 9 this year for Nebraska. And your Huskers are 15-0 and a perfect 6-0 in the Big Ten.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Yep, the birthday girl making an appearance tonight.
I couldn't miss this segment as much as I wanted to after last week.
You could have mailed the picks in.
I should have being my performance last week, but no, I'm not that kind of competitor. I'm going to show up the next week and take my licking and bounce back this week.
Very good. Jeremiah joining us as well for this segment. You make an appearance on the birthday show.
I was there for your birthday. I got to be there for her birthday. Like, I can't play favorites here.
Very well done. This is our last hour of the night, last hour of the week. We're going to hear from baseball coach Will Bolt coming up here in just a little bit. But we are starting this hour with our pick segment. So, as we do every week, a chance to go back and review the previous week's pick. We do have a new weekly winner, by the way. The spoiler alert for that. And we have somebody who went 0 for the Pac-12. We'll get into all that here as we move through. All right, Indiana at Michigan. Jeremiah shook off his love of Tom Allen, did pick the Wolverines, as we all did. They roll. We all had Ohio State. They blasted Purdue. 4 out of 5 of us had Rutgers. Did you see any of that game on Saturday? They were way behind.
Mm-hmm. I didn't watch that game, no.
They were behind, I think 24-9, rallied and won, and Cole, doggone it, you almost pulled it off.
I remember looking at that score and thinking, oh, Cole is going to come up with a big point here. But, yeah, I was not watching that game live when it happened.
I had it on the Kansas City Delta Sky Club sports bar that I created watching, and I was like, oh, we're toast. And then I was watching and I was like, oh, my gosh, they found a way to come back. Just an epic collapse on the other side.
So kudos to Cole. Even though you didn't win, you almost did.
I appreciate it.
Do you give him a half a point for that?
Like horseshoes and hand grenades. You're close, right? We all had Penn State. That was an easy pick over UMass. We all went Maryland, and we all missed. Illinois goes and wins on the road.
Who would have thought? I mean, the way that Illinois had kind of not looked great, and Maryland had, and just some crazy things happening, I feel like.
That was a hangover game for Maryland from Ohio State.
Agreed.
Like they came out flat. They had no energy. And, Illinois came out and took full advantage, punched them in the mouth early, and then just kept being able to find ways. And they handed the ball off to that 250-pound running back over and over again, and they found themselves a stud in Fagan.
Yeah, and I think that was a challenge week for Brett Bielema, too. Much like the Huskers went through after the Michigan game, I think he challenged his team, and to their credit, they rose up and got a huge win, and they've kind of put themselves back in bowl contention with that victory. But all of us went Maryland. We all go down with the ship. And the same thing in the Wisconsin game. All 5 of us go with the Badgers. And Jeremiah, here are the 6-1 Iowa Hawkeyes in first place in the West.
How? It's so frustrating that every year I feel like we talk about that Iowa's the worst one-loss team in the country. And everyone's like, oh, they're fine. And then they end up getting smoked towards the back end of the season. Like, look, we told you they were bad. But kudos to them finding a way to win with special teams and defense, because that offense is brutal.
It is. I mean, it is. How much we hear head coaches preach about all 3 phases, and you got to be balanced. And this is not that team, and yet they still find ways to win. It just defies everything that you're taught about football, I feel like.
Time to get into the Pac-12 picks. And
let's not.
Somebody's over the Pac-12.
Let's do it.
Oregon, Washington. Jeremiah, you, Cole, the students, and myself went with the Huskies. Jessica had Oregon, but in her defense, a bad coaching move on the Oregon front, going for it near midfield late with a 4-point lead. It blew up on them. Washington took advantage and got it done.
I mean, what were you doing against an offense like that? But, yeah, that was kind of a coin coin flip game. I think we were all going back and forth. I hate when we all pick the same picks.
Yep.
So I rallied or tried to get a point and came back and bite me. Yeah, I was probably the maddest person at that head coach of anybody.
That's the analytics part of football that I just can't stand. You know, it happened to the Chargers on Monday night, and like it's just like, oh well, analytics here says excuse me, blah blah blah. It's like, no, punt the football and just live to fight another day. Like, don't do that nonsense.
Well, I was the only one that went out on the branch for Notre Dame. The Irish crush USC in South Bend. I think that was pretty predictable. I think USC is way overrated. I think it kind of showed last week.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is just bad, really bad, and they're not going to get any better. But I just thought maybe they could score enough points to be in a shootout, which typically happens with USC. And if it was a shootout, I was going to go with USC. But
Jeremiah, is it too strong to say Caleb Williams lost the Heisman Trophy in that game?
No, he's done. He's toast. Yeah, he's toast for the Heisman. And honestly, USC's maybe the 4th best team in the pack. Maybe,
I agree.
Probably more like the 5th.
Yeah.
What's crazy is there's just so many people in that conversation for the Heisman. You can't, at this point, have games like that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's too talented at the top to have a bad game like that.
Sometimes, some years you can, but this is not one of those years.
Yeah, he got picked off multiple times in that game. All right, let's stay in the Pac-12. Oregon State hosted UCLA. Jeremiah, Cole, the students, and myself went with the Beavers. Jessica, again, tough week in the Pac-12, went with UCLA.
I love Oregon. I love Oregon State so much. They're my favorite team in the Pac to watch. They're so fun to watch.
Jonathan Smith has to be one of the hottest commodities in the open market in about a month. I mean, every big job that's open should go after Jonathan Smith.
And in all reality, everyone in Oregon State's playing like a free agent contract year.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, hey, I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm going to hit that portal, and someone's going to pay me some NIL money.
It's crazy that's a team sitting here without a place to go.
Right.
In a few months.
Oh, just hurtful. All right, Tennessee and Texas A&M, we all went with the Volunteers. We were all correct. Yay, team. Kansas and Oklahoma State, we all went Jayhawks. The Cowboys said, stop it. We're going to beat these Kansas schools. Back-to-back wins over K-State and Kansas, so we all tripped up on that one as well.
I mean, I have had very little faith in Oklahoma State. They sputtered along there, but I feel like they found some rhythm, and with Kansas not having their quarterback, Jalen Daniels, being out. But yeah, Oklahoma State, man, just finding a way to put it all together at home.
They're an infuriating team to watch.
They really are.
They really are, right? Because you're watching them like, come on, put it together. Like, you can do it. And then when you're rooting for them, they find a way to fall apart. When you're rooting against them, they find a way to put it together. They are just infuriating.
That is Oklahoma State to a T. You couldn't have described it even better.
That's so true.
And guess what? We get to pick them here in a few minutes.
I know. I was so mad to see him I was so mad to see them on the list again.
All right, we wrapped it up. Miami, North Carolina. Cole again rolled the dice with the Hurricanes. They played okay in this game, but Carolina wins it, so the rest of us got that one right. So let's check out the weekly numbers. We had Jeremiah, you and the students both go 8-4. Cole and Jessica 6-6, a 500 week.
Not good.
Ouch.
Not good.
And I went 9-3. So let's hold on.
Greg.
You got the crown. You got the crown.
Update the yearly standings now.
You're the mid-season champ.
72-12. Unbelievable. I have a 7-game cushion on Jessica, who's in second. The students have moved up to third, 64-20. Jeremiah is 61-23. Come on, Cole, you're 59-25.
They're just jockeying back and forth. Because last week, Searles was in the back, bringing up the rear.
Yeah, just a couple of casuals, man. Just a couple of casuals. We don't know ball.
And I don't know about you guys. This week was hard for me to pick. Holy cow. So let's start. Penn State at Ohio State, the big noon kickoff on Fox. A lot of people think this is Penn State's year. I went back and forth on this one. I just can't pick against Ohio State at home. I'll go Buckeyes, but I'm not going to be surprised if Penn State pulls this one off.
Well, you know me, and I'm sure you're not shocked here, but I am going to go with Penn State. I think this is their year. James Franklin is, 6-1? I haven't beat him in forever, and I think, and they haven't played much, and it's not pretty, but they're number 2 in the nation in turnover margin, and in these big games, that's always such a big key. So I'm going to give it to Penn State and that defense, and I think they do just enough on offense to keep Ohio State at bay.
Gosh, I'm so torn on this one. I've gone back and forth with this pick for all week that we've looked at it, but I think I'm with you, Jessica. I think Penn State, it's finally their year. Ohio State, if you can call it a down year, in my opinion, is a little bit of a down year for them. I think Penn State comes out, punches them in the mouth, and then finds a way to get a late turnover at the end of the game.
Cole?
I thought this one came down to whoever had the home field for it, so I'll go Buckeyes.
Okay, and the students are with you two, Jessica and Jeremiah. Penn State, so we're 3-2. We're really split. I'm not surprised. I think that's that kind of a game that it's going to be a field goal type game at the end.
Yeah, and, I'm with you, too. I went back and forth, too, but I ultimately leaned towards how good Penn State has been to me in picks, and I need a big win. So come on, Nittany Lions. Come up big for me again.
A lot of it, too, is the pressure is all on Ohio State.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, they have all the pressure, right? They have to win or else their playoff hopes are dead, all that stuff. Like, they have all the pressure. Penn State's coming in there just like, hey, we're just here to upset and have some fun.
I just don't know that Penn State hasn't faced anybody very good yet.
True.
I think the verdict's still very much.
No, and Ohio State is battle-tested, so.
I went to Notre Dame and won there. All right, Jessica, Rutgers, who's got, we need one more win for bowl eligibility at Indiana. Do they get it done this weekend?
I'm going with Rutgers, yeah. I am not picking Jeremiah's Indiana Hoosiers in this one, so I got Rutgers in this one.
To no surprise, Tom Allen is still dead to me. So, yes, Rutgers.
Cole?
I'll go with the Rutgers, too.
Students go Rutgers as well. I say not so fast.
Oh.
Indiana's got one more life left in them. Rutgers barely got by last week. I think they're due to stumble. They're not that good a football team yet. Give me the Hoosiers to protect home field and beat the Scarlet Knights on Saturday.
Wow.
How about that one for you all?
That's a cushion pick. That's a cushion pick. I have a lot of cushion. I can take a limb here.
We'll see. All right, Jeremiah, here, this one, first one to 10. We said this last week about Iowa, Wisconsin, and that was proved to be right. Minnesota at Iowa in the battle for the pig of float Rosedale. Whatever that thing's called. It's a pig.
I hate picking them. They're my least favorite school in the Big Ten, but I think I have to go Iowa here. I think PJ Fleck is reeling in Minnesota right now. They're really struggling. Iowa's defense, very good. Special teams, very good. But, yeah, it's going to be whoever misses a field goal is going to lose this game because I don't think there's going to be much explosive scoring going on.
Cole?
I'll go Iowa as well.
Students are on the Minnesota train for this game. Gophers coming off of a bye week. Got some guys healthier. I just think Iowa's going to drop one or two of these close games. When you can't score every game's in battle, you can't get all the breaks. But Iowa's won 8 in a row. I can't pick against them in the series. Give me the Hawkeyes, but I don't feel good about it.
Same. I'm with you. I just can't pick against them at this point. I keep picking against them. I keep losing points, so I'm going to try to flip the trend on this one. I'm rolling with them this week.
Okay. All right, Cole, we're coming to you on this one. I think this is intriguing. Wisconsin at Illinois.
I'm going to go with the Badgers here. I know they're not in their best shape. I still think they get it done.
Students are opposite you. They go Illinois. I'm going Illinois. I think Illinois got a nice boost. No Mordecai anymore for Wisconsin. They're really beat up. I think they're now questioning themselves a little bit. I think Illinois got some steam with the win last week, and they do it again this week. They pounded the Badgers last year in Madison. I think they make it 2 in a row with them with a win on Saturday.
Yeah, what's crazy, though, is that teams that try to throw the ball against Illinois have lost, and the teams that run it against them win. And so for that reason, I'm going with Wisconsin because I think they are going to run the football with them having a backup quarterback, and I think they do just enough to pull it out.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jessica, on the fact that I think this forces their hand to run the football. They cannot throw it anymore, right? So they're going to lean back to what's their bread and butter. They have Braylon Allen back there. They got these dudes back there that can just run the football like crazy. I think they lean on Illinois just enough to win it. I think it's a very close game, but I like Wisconsin.
We're midway through our Choices Treatment Center picks, and I'm liking the fact that Jessica and Jeremiah are lining up. I like that.
Let's go.
I do.
Let's go, buddy.
Hey, comeback week.
All right, Michigan playing little brother Michigan State. This game has been so entertaining down through the years. Not so much this time. Michigan's on a mission. I think they roll them despite the little NCAA news that popped up on Thursday about Michigan spying on their opponents. How dare they do that? But
Cheaters!
I'm with you. Michigan's on a mission, so I like that term, and they're not going to have a problem this week.
everyone can say Michigan's on a mission or whatever it is. Michigan State's just not very good. Like, they're just not very good, and Michigan is a well-oiled machine, and they have no love for each other. So, I mean, I don't think Harbaugh takes his foot off the gas at all against these dudes.
Cole?
I've got Michigan easy.
Students agree with it, so it's a clean sweep for the Wolverines. All right, let's get out of conference. Jessica, let's come to you. Utah at USC.
Can you please leave Pac-12 games off for a few weeks?
I should have loaded 2 or 3 more up this week.
I mean, against my better judgment, I think USC bounces back.
Jeremiah?
I don't want to pick USC. I don't, but Utah is so up and down this year. But give me Utah with the physicality that they play with. And, you know, they beat the crap out of them in the Pac-12 championship last year, being physical. I think USC is also trying to figure their lives out. Give me Utah. Give me the Utes.
Cole?
I've got Utah as well here.
Ooh.
I think they got it.
Students go USC. I go USC as well. I think they bounce back at home. They can put points on the board. They'll outscore Utah in this game. Give me the Trojans. All right, Jeremiah. Oklahoma State, the team that frustrates you to no end, on the road this week at West Virginia.
Man, did you guys watch the end of that Houston-West Virginia game last week?
Sure.
I mean, what a heartbreaker for them. But I liked West Virginia. I still like West Virginia. I can't tie myself to the Hokies anymore. I just can't do it.
The Hokies?
Not the Hokies, the Cowboys, the Pokes, whatever you want to call them. That team in Stillwater. Give me West Virginia.
Cole?
Let's go West Virginia here.
Okay. The students like OSU to go on the road and get a win. I don't. I think I'll go with the home team. Give me the Mountaineers.
Go Pokes. I mean, and again, Oklahoma State does whatever I do, they do the opposite. So, but I think they found a little bit of a rhythm this last couple weeks, and West Virginia is going to be a little bit heartbroken. You want to talk about a hangover game? This could be it for West Virginia.
Okay. All right, Cole, coming to you for another Big 12 matchup. Texas Tech, who's really had a rough year, on the road at BYU, but Tech is favored in this game.
I haven't seen a single game from either of these teams all year. I'll go Texas Tech. That's just words, though.
The students go BYU. I'm going BYU as well. Tech's beat up at the quarterback spot. Their number 1 guy's out. The number 2 guy got knocked out with a concussion last week by K-State. They're down to a third-string quarterback. You don't go to BYU and win with a third-string quarterback. Give me the Cougars.
This is like a battle between the 2 most inconsistent teams in college football. They've had big wins. They've had close losses with what Texas Tech did to Oregon and keeping it close. But I'm going with the home team, BYU. It's homecoming in Provo. It's going to be really hard for Texas Tech to go into there and get a win with their quarterback situation.
Yeah, I think if Tech had their starter, I'm taking Tech, but it's hard to win with a third-string quarterback. I mean, I don't care if he's young, whatever he is. Granted, everyone at BYU is really old, but so he's going to be going against grown men at home. Give me the Cougars.
So we all go against Vegas except Cole, who's taking the favorite Texas Tech in that game. All right, Clemson at Miami. I think Miami is still just not right. Clemson is getting better, I think, as this year goes along. I'll take the Tigers in this matchup.
I'm with you. I got Clemson as well. I think just Miami's reeling a little bit. Clemson trying to put some things together. So I've got Clemson in this one.
I can never pick Miami after they didn't kneel the ball. So Clemson.
Cole.
Took a shot on Miami last week. Not going to do it again this week. I got Clemson.
Students are with us. It's a clean sweep for Clemson. All right, let's go back to the Big 12. TCU at K-State for this matchup. Jessica?
I'm going with your Wildcats at home. That's a tough place to play, and it seems like at times Kansas State has looked good. At times they haven't, and I know TCU's coming off a big win, but I'm going to go with Kansas State. I'm going to go with the home team in this one.
TCU's defense is terrible. Give me K-State.
Cool.
Let's go K-State.
Students are K-State. K-State, a star was born last week. Avery Johnson, 5 rushing touchdowns. The guy reminds me of Taylor Martinez. He's incredibly fast. He outruns TCU in this game. Wildcats win. All right, Jeremiah, Ole Miss at Auburn as we go to the SEC for our final 2 picks.
Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of either one of these teams, so, I'm picking with my heart here and going with old coach John Garrison, who was my coach here in Nebraska, who was in North Carolina. He's now the O-line coach at Ole Miss, so going with the fighting John Garrison's Ole Miss.
Cole?
Let's go Ole Miss here.
Students are Ole Miss. I'm Ole Miss as well. I think that they're just more sound. Auburn's still trying to figure themselves out under a first-year coach. I like the Rebels, even though they're on the road.
Yeah, I think they make it back-to-back wins over Auburn for the first time, 71 years? They haven't been able to do that, so I'm with Ole Miss.
Okay. Cole, you get to pick our last one. Alabama hosting Tennessee.
I know Bama's thinking about their last year's matchup with Tennessee, so I'm going to take Bama. I think they get their revenge at home.
That's a great point. The students agree with you, and I do as well. I think Bama's starting to warm up a little bit, and I think they're sniffing that they can get back in this playoff hunt. I go Bama.
I'm with you. I got Bama, too.
Yeah, Milton looked a lot better last week. They looked more settled. They're starting to settle back into themselves. Bama all the way, Roll Tide.
All right, very good. There we are. Those are our Choices Treatment Center picks. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300 for more information. Offices in Lincoln and Columbus. This crown is starting to hurt my head. I need to take it off. Good luck to everybody this week.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, Greg. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
He's feeling a little confident. Hey, Searles, you can't bet against me or cheer against me too much this week because we have a lot of the same picks.
You do.
Oh, yeah. We're commingled this week.
All right, go out and enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thank you.
We're back to talk some baseball with the head coach next.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town, choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pick 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pick 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 11th and November 3rd and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln, plus pregame tailgate. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter. And you may win this season.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail Taman 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Elevate your driving experience at Woodhouse Buick GMC. Receive up to $2,250 off MSRP on the 2023 Buick Envision Preferred, or shop the 2023 Buick Enclave Avenir and save up to $3,000 off MSRP. Shop our current inventory online anytime at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must have 2009 or newer trade-in to qualify. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires October 31st, 2023. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more Acres solutions for every field. Time to talk a little ball, baseball. The Huskers wrapped up fall ball last week with their red-white scrimmage. The head coach, Will Bolt, joins us here on Sports Nightly. Let's, if you had to kind of put into a few words or a few sentences what fall was like, how would you describe what you saw out of your group for the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think one of the main things we were looking for was an intensity level that we were hoping to see. And I think if you ask our players, it was probably one of the more intense falls that we played in. And at the same time, it went by really fast. And I think those two things I think they do go hand in hand, because your intensity means the intent's there, the focus is there. You don't take a day for granted. And obviously a lot of competition this fall, a lot of spots up for grabs, all over the diamond, on the mound, and really just trying to kind of take that next step here for us, where we felt like we were awfully close to being a really, really good team last year. And, just some of those finer points is what we were hammering home this fall. And each week came down to the game 3 of the series. And so I feel like that tells us that our teams are pretty evenly matched. There's depth there on both sides of it. And there was just it was a very intentful fall.
One of the big changes you made in the offseason was Coach Childress now is handling the pitching staff. What tweaks, what changes did he make with that group? And you have a lot of new names that are throwing balls for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of new names. And the thing that Rob has always done a great job of with the pitching is just from the mindset part of it and instilling a certain mindset, with the pitching staff and very simple things that are laid out for what we're trying to get accomplished. And I think if you can stay process-oriented with those things, that gives you a better opportunity to be more in the moment and not worry about things that you can't control when you have, because it gets awfully lonely out there on the mound. I mean, you're the only guy out there. The spotlight's on you. So just from a discipline accountability standpoint, he brings obviously a ton of experience there as a longtime head coach, and he's been coaching pitchers at the Division I level for almost 30 years. So there's been a lot of good ones that he's had, and for me, honestly, just he's because of his ability to lead, it's just he just takes over the entire staff, and they really follow his lead that way.
Last year, there were games where strike throwing was a problem, and that may be oversimplifying it, but was there an emphasis on not allowing free passes during the fall?
Yeah, and I think if you were just look at the numbers, I mean, we've done a good job of not walking a lot of guys. I think the biggest difference that I wanted to see kind of us take the next step forward is command over control. It's one thing to not walk a guy but give into the middle of the plate. It's another thing to be able to execute pitches and do it with multiple pitches and do it with different looks. So I feel like that's where we're starting to trend in the right direction. Certainly being able to land those off-speed pitches, and we call them cross counts, where you don't know what's going to come, and if you can land an off-speed pitch, you start getting the hitter off the fastball a little bit. So 3-1 is where Coach Childress always wants to be in terms of strikeouts to walks. Lead the nation, lead the conference in fewest walks per 9 innings. And again, we've done a nice job. Yeah. But kind of to your point, I think what the next step we need to take to be an elite pitching staff is command over just control.
Talking baseball, head coach Will Bolt with us here on Sports Night. Huskers wrapped up fall ball last week with the Red-White Series. Let's talk about the offense, because you're having to replace 2 All-Americans in Bryce and Max, and that can be daunting. You probably can't think of it that way. So how do you go about trying to structure the offense going into next season?
Yeah, I think what you find wins, and you see it in big league baseball in the playoffs especially, but you see the really good college teams that win. They win with really good defense, pitching, and timely hitting. And so, the home runs are great. Don't get me wrong, I love them because they're automatic, runs every time. But I think what we realize and the team realizes that you lose guys of their caliber in the lineup in Max and Bryce. You don't make up for it with just 1 or 2 guys. You've got to do it collectively as a whole and have a bunch of guys that play to a team role offense. And so I think that's been the focus of the fall. And we saw that a little bit better down the stretch from our team. And again, part of that is us asking it of our team. We were able to incorporate the bunt a little bit more later in the season to set ourselves up, for some key hits and not just relying on the long ball. So I think we're going to have some guys that can still drive the baseball. And maybe hit some more doubles and triples, balls in the gaps, as opposed to home runs. But I think what you're going to see is some guys that are able to play their role, execute their role, maybe just a touch better. And that's kind of been a focus of the fall, is we just need to move the offense along, pass the offense along. And the best teams that I've ever been a part of, those are the type of offenses that we've had. We've not been relying on 1 or 2 players, but just the cohesive unit working together. Ultimate goal is to score runs. So it's not about the batting average or anything like that. It's can you get on base and can you get around the bases? So, having guys that are sold out to their roles in the confines of the team offense, that's a huge part of that.
And we shouldn't undersell a guy like Gabe Swanson, who maybe didn't get enough credit last year from the league coaches and the people who voted on the all-conference teams. He put up big-time numbers. And Dylan Carey certainly had a terrific freshman year. And those are 2 guys you can kind of lean on. Yeah,
and Gabe was an all-conference player. And like you said, he had 18 home runs and hit around 300 and really solidified the 4-hole for us at the end of the year last year. And he returns with, again, Gabe just goes about his business. He doesn't say much. He just plays hard, competes hard, is a great teammate. So he's not going to put a whole lot of pressure on himself to go be the man. He's just going to go do his thing. Garrett England's back. He's got a lot of college at-bats under his belt. Josh Caron's got a lot of college at-bats under his belt. Ben Columbus. So there's some guys that return that have been there and done that, and we feel like we've got some good pieces around them of guys that are just baseball players, just gamers, guys that love to go compete.
Number 1 junior college class in the country. You were able to accumulate that and put that together, and I think you're high on some of your young freshmen, aren't you, for this team? Yeah, I think what you find with the JUCO guy is it provides a certain amount of depth for you. You got quality pieces in the outfield, in the infield, on the mound, guys that have experience, guys that have a chip on their shoulder, guys that, you can kind of just interchange if things aren't, maybe you could play a matchup, maybe you could rest a guy, maybe you could have a guy, that, they're competing for jobs. So there's a lot of value to those junior college players. And yeah, we've seen a couple of freshmen come in, much like Dylan Carey did. He really impressed right out of the chute last year. And I'd say Case Sanderson is probably one of those guys that has really done that. With this team, opened some eyes right away where we're hitting him in the 3 and 4 hole and against outside competition. He's holding his own.
He hit 330 in a college league last summer, and he just kept hitting, this fall. So, again, just a very even-keeled kid, and that's what it takes, honestly, to be a good player as a freshman, is you just don't get too high or too low. Trust your ability, show up, you're the same guy every day. That's what Dylan Carey was. That's what Max Anderson was. That's what Bryce Matthews was, Spencer Schwellenbach. The list goes on and on. Those guys have very similar attributes.
All right, this, people probably want to know about your weekend rotation. Were there some arms that you're kind of thinking about? You still have several months before you have to put it together, but some guys that maybe are top of mind that could be weekend starters for you.
Yeah, and I think this offseason's a little different maybe than it's been in the past, where you feel like there's a big separation between maybe the top two guys and everybody else. I don't look at that as a negative. I think it's a positive that we have a lot of guys that are kind of vying for those weekend spots. So obviously Clark was a starter for us as a freshman last year. He's built on some confidence he regained in the summer, had a very good fall for us. Brockett's, started probably 20 games in his career up to this point. Drew Christo spent most of the fall looking like a staff ace. I mean, fastball velo's back up to 95. Those are the reports that we got from the summer with him, is that he maintained that mid-90s velocity throughout his 100-pitch outings. Kind of a team leader type guy as well. Brett Sears had a great summer. He looks the part in terms of stuff. I think he's going to be 24 years old when college season comes around. So he's been around the block a little bit, and we probably mismanaged him last year. Probably should have been more of a front-end guy, struggled out of the pen at times. I think he's probably still profiles more as a starter. So there's some other guys in there, and I think we have a very, very good crop of freshman arms that may be as talented as any we've ever brought into Nebraska.
Oh, that's exciting to hear. The schedule came out a few weeks ago. You happy with it? There's some good thumpers in there, but right out of the gate at Globe Life's where we're headed.
Yeah, Globe Life playing a big league ballpark, roof closed. We're going to get the games in against Big 12 competition. It'll test us right out of the gates, and I think we've raised the profile in terms of number of top 100 potential RPI games. Again, we thought that maybe a little bit with our schedule last year didn't play out that way, but you win a few games early. With that road schedule, Grand Canyon's had obviously been a very good program, good weather down in Arizona, and also a great fan base for the Huskers out that way, and going back out to Charleston again, which we did a few years back when we went to Citadel, I believe it was, maybe in like 2014. So good place to play. And I think just the midweeks, I think that's where, and again, part of that was out of our control a little bit. Kansas would never really play Nebraska in the past. New coaching staff, new administration there. We're going to play them each and every year, at least 2 games. Kansas State, we've gone from 1 game to 2 and to possibly 3. Wichita State back on the schedule. So there's some more of those high level of teams that we can play from an RPI standpoint. And as we found out last year, everybody's good, so you better show up on the midweeks. But, to be able to get the credit for it against a higher RPI opponent, I'm excited about how that sets up.
And for the home folks, the league schedule, you've got some of the heavies coming in here this year to Haymarket.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of the teams that finished at the top of the standings last year, a lot of talented teams, a lot of teams that are going to be picked at the top of the league, so a lot of great opportunities there for our fans to come out and see some really quality opponents.
Well, good. Well, I know you're excited. The coaching staff's excited. It'll be fun. It'll be here before you know it, too.
Yep, can't wait. It was a great fall and had great weather, and look forward to seeing a lot of winning programs here from Huskers in the fall.
All right, enjoy a little downtime coming up in the next month or so.
Will do.
Will Bolt, head baseball coach, with us here on Sports Sunday. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More of the show coming up next.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 11th and November 3rd and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 24th in Lincoln, plus pregame tailgate. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Falls City, Osceola Implement, and Kearney Equipment to enter. And you may win this season.
Get ready again for some Nebraska Farm Facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall, 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we prioritize our customers and promise an honest experience from start to finish. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and experience for yourself why we are Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
We've got some universally big news for Nebraska Pick 5 fans. The prize for matching 4 of 5 numbers has risen from $450 to $500. Visit your favorite Nebraska lottery retailer today. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 40 or ask for a Nebraska Pick 5 Quick Pick. Match 4 numbers and you could win $500. Each play only costs $1 and there are drawings 7 days a week. It's just another way our game is getting better all the time. Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1 in 658,000.
We could tell you all about what makes Ford F-Series the #1 trucks in America for 46 straight years. But why tell you when we could show you instead? Because in the Midwest, talk is cheap and actions speak. On the lake, on the job, or on the town. Choose the trucks that deliver on the claims. Ford F-Series is made for the real world. This is Chiefs Kingdom. Get 3.9% financing for 66 months, plus up to $3,750 bonus cash on F-150 XLT, official truck of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. October is National Chiropractic Health Month. Regular chiropractic care has been a game changer for me, both during my career and still today. It's the recommended first treatment for chronic lower back pain over prescription opioids. It's natural, drug-free, and safe for all ages. Discover the difference of chiropractic care. Relieve, restore, resume your life. Learn more at nebraskachiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We'll come back Friday night edition of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Here's again the lineup for tomorrow. Pre-game coverage for the Huskers football matchup with Northwestern. 10:30 with Husker Game Day. Ben McLaughlin, Damon Benning will have that. We'll take you all the way through Big Red Reaction, which will wrap up about 9:30 tomorrow night. We'll also then have Husker volleyball. First time since the late 90s. A number 1 against a number 2 that are both undefeated in college volleyball, the Huskers and the Badgers. 7 o'clock first serve. JB and Lauren start with their pregame coverage at 6 tomorrow night here on the Huskers Radio Network. So some of the stations that you're listening to tonight, they will have volleyball. Some will have the football postgame show. Hopefully a happy football postgame show for the Huskers and the Wildcats tomorrow. It's going to be absolutely beautiful day tomorrow. And again, tomorrow's the 100th celebration of the 100th year of football here in this glorious stadium. Huskers will wear their alternate uniforms. Not a huge change, just a blue outline around the numbers, because the first game ever played at Memorial Stadium was against Nebraska and Oklahoma, 2 teams wearing red. So the Huskers said, okay, we'll wear blue tops. Not sure how that came to decision, but that's why the Huskers will honor that team with a blue top around their jerseys tomorrow. What wonderful matchup of some games tomorrow in the league. I think we in some battles. Ohio State, Penn State at 11. I think Indiana-Rutgers at 11 is going to be a tight game. And then the 2 other games involving teams out of the Big Ten West should be really hotly contested. Maybe not the best-looking games with Minnesota at Iowa and Wisconsin at Illinois, but should be some tight games for us, the folks to follow tomorrow. We'll keep you abreast of all those scores throughout the day tomorrow as well. Also want to invite you to go visit a participating AGCO dealer between now and November the 3rd. Get yourself entered for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa game on Black Friday here in Lincoln. We'll throw in some pregame tailgate passes. Go see True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Fall City. Osceola Implement and Kearney Equipment to enter, and you may be a winner this season. All right, speaking of winners, we'll come back with our winners and losers for the week. We'll do that next.
T&L Irrigation Company knows their way around a field and across it, into the corners, and even through storms. T&L engineers are constantly working on solutions producers need, like the new gooseneck cradle corner system attachment. It greatly improves corner span stability to tackle steep terrain and stand up to high winds. If you're looking to upgrade your corner system or add on new, call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
In 1923, Bert R. Benjamin had a vision, an all-purpose tractor that could do more. With that, the Farmall was born. This year, Case IH is celebrating 100 years of Farmall. 100 years of milestones, 100 years of innovation, passion, grit. And they're doing it through your stories. Share them at farmall100.com. One lucky storyteller will win their own Farmall, the tractor that is the one for all.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's room at the table and more dollars to every acre by incorporating value-added grain into your operation with Central Valley Ag. From white corn to blue corn to organics, find the right fit for your operation. Now, for a limited time, enter to win a $10,000 bonus when you contract a minimum of 50,000 bushels of value-added grain. Enter to win at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hey Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student-athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student-athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Well, time for us to name our winners and losers of the week. Jessica's a winner, right? I mean, it's her birthday today, so she's not even around, so that's good for her. She did slip in here and do the pick segment, I guess, earlier in the hour, but hopefully she's out having a fun time tonight. Be back on the air with us tomorrow from the sidelines. Henry has slid over here to give us his winners and losers of the week. Let's start with your winner of the week.
I'll go with the Las Vegas Aces. They won back-to-back WNBA titles for first time since I think the Sparks did it in like early 2000s.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Something like that.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah.
They'll have probably a fun little parade in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
At some point in time. All right, how about your loser?
Same vein.
Same sport? Same.
Yeah. With every game, there's a winner and a loser. But Courtney Vandersloot with down 1 point to send it to game 5.
She plays for the Liberty, right?
She plays for the Liberty, yeah. Corner 3, where, you only need
a 2.
Yeah, a 2
wins or put you ahead at least.
Yeah, final shot of the game, and it was an air ball, unfortunately for her. I'm sure she feels really bad about that, but
be a long off season.
Yeah,
and that's your last shot of the year. All right, a couple WNBA picks from Henry. All right, Cole, what do you have for us?
Go with my winner first. Winner is just the Nebraska volleyball team at large, just the whole team. They are undefeated. I mean, it's unbelievable. Heading into tomorrow night.
When you think about it, go back 3 months ago, we knew that it was a talented freshman class, but for this team that's dominated by the young players to be undefeated this late in the season, it's crazy.
And they did not have a cakewalk schedule by any means. Coach Cook builds that schedule as hard as it gets. Yeah. So excited for.
I know people are jacked for that thing tomorrow night. That's going to be a blast.
Certainly.
How about I know you don't like picking losers, but
the loser, I'll go this week with Tom Brady, although he's not a loser generally.
Well, it's good.
In a recent podcast, he was insinuating how the league might be getting too soft after some roughing the passer penalties being called, and it's a bit hypocritical and a bit
slightly.
Yes.
He benefited from one of the worst calls that benefited him when he straight got tackled and they threw, I think it was the Falcons game a year ago. Gronk called him out. I love that, right?
Yes.
I love the fact that Gronk called him out on the deal. So, all right, well done. I know it's like pulling teeth for you to give me a loser each week. All right, my winner, Husker soccer, 5 straight wins for the ladies on the pitch. They win 2-0 over Purdue last night. They'll wrap up the regular season Sunday at Illinois. They have a chance, if everything goes right, to win the league Sunday. They're a point back of Penn State. So a win at Illinois gives them 3. They would need either a tie or a loss by Penn State to win the league. But what a season they have had, and it's not over. You get the Big Ten tournament. They're going to make the NCAA tournament as well. My loser, this whole situation at Michigan. They now have suspended a staffer. The NCAA investigators are trying to recoup the guy's laptop. Apparently, a lot of schools in the Big Ten Conference have been ratting out or been talking about this for quite some time about Michigan bending the rules on all that. So they are my loser of the week. Our Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Thanks, Henry. Thanks, Cole. Well done. Thanks to both of you and all of you for listening tonight. We get going cranked up on the network tomorrow, 10:30 for Husker Game Day. Have yourself a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, Husker fans, it's Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. As we get ready to celebrate 1890's one-year anniversary, I'm proud to say the 1890 Initiative now represents 150 Husker student athletes in 9 sports. And with your help, we can keep 1890 going strong, helping student athletes get the most from their name, image, and likeness, and preparing them for life after college. Visit 1890nebraska.com to learn more about NIL and 1890 and contribute today.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota.